Welcome back. We ended the previous video with an important question. How do broad policies and priorities actually reach schools, departments, programs, and organizations? And who translates system-wide decisions into organizational action? This is where the meso level becomes important. It occupies the space between the macro and micro levels and serves as a bridge between system-wide policy decisions and everyday educational practice. As shown on the left side of the slide, the meso level sits between the macro and micro levels. Above it are governments and system level authorities. Below it are teachers, students, families, and communities. The meso level connects these two worlds. The meso level is often made up of organizations and organizational structures. These may include school districts, regional authorities, university faculties, departments, schools, committees, administrative units, or other coordinating bodies. Although they may not create system-wide policies themselves, they play a critical role in shaping how these policies are interpreted and enacted. The right side of the slide illustrates some of the actors and structures commonly associated with meso level. Districts and regional authorities coordinate educational activities across multiple institutions. Departments and administrative units organize programs, services, and operations. Boards and committees support decision-making and oversight. Schools and organizations translate broader priorities into local practices. What makes the meso level unique is that it operates in both directions. It receives direction from the macro level, but it also responds to the realities emerging from the micro level. In this sense, the meso level is not simply a middle layer, it is an active space where policies are interpreted, adapted, coordinated, and negotiated. For example, the Ministry of Education may introduce a new policy related to curriculum reform. School districts, principals, department heads, and committees then determine how that policy will be implemented within their specific contexts. The policy may remain the same, but the implementation process often varies across organizations. The key takeaway is that the meso level acts as a bridge between system-wide decision-making and everyday educational practice. It connects the broad goals established at the macro level with the lived experiences that occur at the micro level. In the previous slide, we learned that the meso level serves as a bridge between system-wide policy and everyday educational practice, but who operates at this level? As shown in the diagram, the meso level is made up of organizations and structures. These may include districts or regional authorities, departments and administrative units, boards and committees, and schools or educational organizations. Each of these actors play a different role. Some coordinate programs and resources, others provide oversight and governance. Some manage operations, support staff, and guide implementation. Collectively, they help translate policy into organizational action. This is what makes meso level distinctive. Unlike the macro level, which focuses on setting direction, the meso level focuses on organizing, coordinating, and implementing that direction within specific institutional contexts. As a result, meso actors have significant influence over how policies are understood and enacted. The same policy may look very different depending on how organizations interpret and implement it. The key takeaway is that meso policy and governance operate through organizations. These organizations collect policy intentions with educational practice and play a critical role in shaping what happens throughout the system. In the previous slide, we explored the organizations and structures that make up the meso level. But these organizations do more than coordinate activities. They also exercise power and authority. Unlike the macro level, where authority is concentrated in governments and governing bodies, power at the meso level is often distributed across different actors and structures, which can include district leaders, department heads, committees, principals, and administrative units, and all of these or some of these can influence decisions within organizations. As shown in the diagram, Meso actors shape how policies are interpreted, prioritized, and implemented. They decide how resources are used, how procedures are developed, and how organizational goals are pursued. Power at the Meso level can take different forms. It may come from formal positions and responsibilities. It may emerge through relationships and networks. It may stem from expertise and professional knowledge, or it may be exercised collectively through groups and committees. This is why the Meso level is so important. Many of the decisions that affect educators and learners are not made at the macro level, but within organizations themselves at the Meso level. Throughout this video, we've explored how the Meso level connects policy with practice. We've seen how organizations, departments, committees, and schools play a critical role in translating policy into action. One of the major strengths of Meso level analysis is that it helps us understand coordination. It shows how organizations bring people, resources, and processes together to support educational goals. Meso analysis also helps us understand translation and implementation. Policies rarely move directly from government documents into classrooms. They're interpreted, adapted, and implemented through organizations and their needs and their leaders. At the same time, this lens helps us focus on organizations themselves, which include the structures, processes, and decisions that shape educational practice. But we should also know that Meso-level analysis has limitations. Because it focuses on organizations, it may overlook broader political and policy forces operating at the macro level. It may pay less attention to the experiences of individual actors, students, and communities at the micro level. Another challenge is that organizations operate in different contexts. What works in one institution may not work in another. And like macro analysis, meso analysis may not fully capture informal relationships, organizational culture, and other hidden influences. The key takeaway is that the Meso lens helps us understand how policy is organized, translated, and implemented, but it does not tell the whole story. To fully understand educational systems, we must also examine what happens at the micro level, where policy is experienced in everyday practice. And that's what we're going to do in the next video, where we will turn our attention to the micro level and explore the role of educators, students, and communities in shaping educational policy and governance.